Tonight's episode of One Shots from the Meowing Portal is brought to you by W Energy Drink. W is the affordable, great tasting, all day energy supplement that won't give you the jitters. Visit w.gg and use the code BrainySetMe at checkout for 10% off of your online order. Hello, cats and kittens, felines and felidae, humans and variant humans, and every race, class, and subclass. Welcome to another episode of One Shots from the Meowing Portal. Tonight we are performing episode 11. And so this one has been in the works for a significant amount of period of time. I want to take a moment to thank my co-writer, Shy Bunny Servant as QB. And we're going to go into effectively an environment that we have been creating known as the Barron's Wasteland. We visited the Barron's Wasteland in a previous episode, and it was effectively a gigantic desert where all life had been completely decimated. But now, thanks to the efforts of some of our NPCs, it has flourished into a great land of flora and fauna, and it is up to QB and new friends that she has made across the multiverse to
Keith.
mount an expedition. And so that's basically, I've given away the whole premise at this point. But this is all in the role playing, of course. And let me take a moment in order to introduce our players is that Game Night 00 as Autodoc Blue 37.
Always a pleasure to be here. Nice to see you all again.
Yes.
Virtually.
Mm-hmm. Marin Mermaid as Marin Metalunanth.
Hello again. Good to see ya.
And of course, Shy Bunny Servant as QB.
Hey everyone, good to be here again.
Needs no introduction at this point.
Yep.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, here we are once again, and but it's something a little new than the norm, right?
Yep. This is definitely something I would classify as not normal. So this is the Barren Wastelands one shot, a one shot from the Meowing Portal. We start in the Cat's Pajamas Inn. And this is effectively the scene. Here we have Brainy, Otto, and Marin just sitting at a table having coffee. And after a lengthy morning silence, expected morning silence, Brady says, "All right, now it begins. When I had first met QB, I had assumed that they were a lost soul, that they needed guidance. I even fully expected him to become one of my apprentices. But fate had other plans. And now QB is off on an expedition where he seeks to rediscover his past. And the only method through which he is going to do it is by going through a completely wild and untamed forest created by my former arch enemy and a 6-foot tall wasp woman with a personality to match."
Are you sure it was a good idea to leave him by himself?
Well, technically, he's not by himself. He's with 3 of the people that we met throughout our adventures. He's with Hellhound Havoc. He's with Deiroku, the grandson of Tanaka, and is also with Vanessa, which was the other Arthrophane that we had rescued from the realm of the Pure Tongue.
Oh, okay. Look, I still can't help you but be at least a little worried.
Well,
Are you sure it's the only way that QB can achieve this?
Well, I mean, QB has to walk on. Well, I didn't send him out completely unprepared. He's always going to have the guidance of his patron god, Mazelthad. And just as a little precaution, I sent Dairoku, along with a recording device, and it's going to be up to him to document everything that happens within the realm, so that we can collect it for research purposes.
Oh, I see.
So you know this can go wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine.
He just jinxed it. The moment anybody said nothing could really go wrong.
Sure, it's brainy. It's fine.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, exactly as nothing could possibly go wrong with said.
So, yeah, we are not really taken to the portal, but we are in the other dimension already in progress. And here we are in the Barrens, which is blossomed into a great uh, tropical rainforest, elements of it just springing left and right all over the ground. Every once in a while, you feel the ground vibrate, and there is typically just some sort of gigantic uh, prehistoric beast wandering through the background.
Oh dear.
And let's see. So our audience stand-in is Deiroku, who is a dragon human who works as a swordsman. Well, is a swordsman's apprentice to his grandfather Tanaka, who lives back in the realm of Primistera. Throughout our first trek through the jungle, I have done nothing except listen to QB name every single brand new monstrosity that we walk by. Let's see if I can remember all of these. Um, I believe this was called Amarcaris, this Dinoscoros, this the dire dragonfly, uh, this the Rio Savra, this the Vonosavra, this the Neurotomos, and this I think I've forgotten this one. QB, what did you call this creature again?
Yes. Yeah. And the cube well collected a few flowers whose response of Panamorpheus.
Oh yes, yes, Panamorpheus. That was the name of it. So we made our way through the middle of the very heavy jungle in order to find ourselves at um, this newly dug cavern.
I imagine like it's incredibly big, like some kind of spikes sticking out the earth.
So
That kind of slanted.
we were expected to meet up with the other two patrons of the creation of the Baron's Wasteland. One of them was a former archvillain in the town of Metaluna by the name of Lord Terrapin. The other one is a local, a Arthrophe witch by the name of.
And right as he says that, Bear is yelling at it says, "Oh, you gotta move on already! They'll be here any minute!" It's, sheesh, you all. Jeez, just because you're a troll doesn't mean you have to be so sluggishly slow. Come on.
Uh, Ma'am, we're already
Right.
here.
Hey, Beatrice is doing. You see Beatrice like heading coming up over in your direction with Terrapin and with her usual full of bitterness and griping.
So they're flanked by just one very large lumbering creature. Um, Just this creature here that appears to be partly animal but partly plant. He says, yes, I do have to compliment you. Is that with the help of these strange fauna that you've created, I have been able to do a substantial amount of work in creating all of the flora of the land and this temple.
Beatrice kind of humbles back. Well, did you have to make this one and spew so much pollen all the time? It's completely messing with my eyes. As if I'd be getting
Pollen.
more.
Pollen is such a lovely lilting part of the forest.
Yeah, well, maybe I should stick some of that in your eye. Maybe then you will. Because then you won't be having such. Then you won't be saying all that.
Well,
And she,
you're also a bee. Maybe you can appreciate pollen a little bit more because you're a bee.
I'm a wasp. I'm closely related to wasps. And either way, that doesn't mean that I have to be all in flowers' faces. What do you take me for one of those minuscule things? I'm a wit. I do magic for muscle thoughts' sake. Hey, hey, Kim. But then she immediately stops when she sees the little group open and says, "Oh, there they are. Shut up, shut up." And she immediately goes over to Cuba and kind of picks him up like a happy grandma. "Oh, there you are, precious. There you are. And you brought your little friend. And, 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 and you all. Oh, it's so good to see you all
Hmm.
here. Now, I'm sure you may be wondering why well, here, of course. And well, oh, and she points to the giant, what seems to be a termite mound. It's that large thing over there. Or,
Hmm. It's very interesting. It looks a lot like the anthills that I played with in the Goblin Forest.
she kind of stuff. Also, well, unlike those that you play with, Sonny boy. Why, these ones seem to have something rather strange going on. There's specifically one, I'll say a turf, right, that seems to be bigger than anything else that's come out of it so far. Or, and it's acting odd, and I can't even begin to explain be, what could possibly be going on in there. Or,
So, in the midst of all of this vocal explosion, the other two members of QB's close friends um, enter the scene. One of them is a Hellhound Havoc, who was previously rescued from the Nameless One's lands. He's built a airplane hangar, well, what looks like an airplane hangar, just out of solid metal, and has continued his pursuit of collecting any kind of loose detritus he could find and trying to build it into go karts.
No, no, I'm telling you, you gotta, give me the 10 millimeter. I can't do anything with this 11 millimeter. I need the 10 millimeter. He's turning a wrench on a cart.
Actually, I think that looks a little bit more like a three-quarter pickney flange.
Are you using are you using standard instead of metric? Well, no wonder you handed me the wrong part. You dimwit. Go get me the metric.
I'll say, okay, I'll look around for it here, somewhere. And you have Doroko just shuffle over to just a great big pile of junk, and start to pull odds and ends until he can find anything at all.
and during all this is happening, the lumbering creature that Beatrice and Terrapin seem to have brought with them is just casually chewing on some nearby vegetation, and it's just like eating.
So, in the midst of all the scrambling, in walks Vanessa, a arthrophade of similar species to Cube, who found themselves lost in the realm of the Pure Tongue, but now has been returned here.
throughout her whole trek, she's had her spear and has made some rounds, just walking in circles just to make sure that there's no sign of ambush. And so they make it their. So as she makes her way to the mound, to the termite hill, she sees all the commotion and she's a little bit mistrusting at first, hearing Terrapin and Beatrice argue.
Yeah, but over like next to Beatrice, Cube kind of spots Vanessa, and kind of like waves at her as if to like kind of call her over a bit.
A bit cautiously, she walks over to Beatrice. Still not quite lowering her spear yet, only because Terrapin is around.
Trust me, young one, you could not prick her with any poison that is stronger than the one that always falls out of her mouth.
Yeah, well, whatever. Let's kind of hear that. Anyway, hey, yeah, like Beatrice pretty much kind of clears her throat a bit. Still the pollen, hey, still the pollen, and she still says, "All right, all of you. Well, there are going to be a lot of termites in there. That's going to be a given. But just like everything else here, these termites are going to be pretty much such a gigantic, along with everything else that seems to be around here.
Excuse me. Are you suggesting that we go in there?
Yes, if we're going to find out why the things in there are acting strangely, well, hey, somebody's got to go in there and look around."
So, out of the middle of Beatrice's ranting, their sky opens up, clouds begin to swirl, lightning begins to emit from the sky, and eventually descends a very large moth looking creature. And this is Mazelthad. This is the patron god of QB. And they perch on the very top of the hill with all 6 limbs.
Yep, every single like little thing is just like delicately, yeah, laid on the spire of the mound,
Mm-hmm.
on like some kind of gigantic ramp for her to land on. With each kind of flap of her wings, there seems to be some sort of glowing scales that always seems to like drift off of her a bit.
So Doroku immediately sits cross-legged on the ground, and Lord Terrapin just immediately doubles over and begins to prostrate himself.
Have up from what he was working on and goes, "Now there's something you don't see every day," and also gives like some respect by dropping down to like a knee.
And so with this gigantic like moth on this tall, sharp spire, her she starts so speaking. And little ones, there is in fact a incredibly important reason why you must delve into the depths of this very spire.
So Doroku continues to side narrate. Is that we had all met Mazel thought at one point before, but it was in a vision. And in that vision, Mazel thought was entirely different from the way that she appears to us in this moment. And he is saying this out loud as he's scribbling notes.
Yep, and Mazelthad continues on. Within the dark and uncertain depths lies but a single breadcrumb that leaves a path towards your very past, the history of your very kind of little ones. So she says, kind of gesturing over at Vanessa and Cube. Okay, and she kind of like focuses on Cube yeah, for further, her dearest vessel, there will be a key here to help aid you to gain even more strength, and even further with it in the dark depths of this land, and it will none of this will be easy for you, but I believe in all of you. For what fate the commands to be done shall be done, regardless of what we may think. For there very is a reason to everything, just as the flowers wither and grow once again. And then she promptly, kind of gets up, stands a little bit more rigid, and then with a flap of the wing starts to fly off into the distance again.
Well, I, for one, am quite flattered. I've never had the favor of a demigod before.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure my grandpa Tanaka would be more than thrilled to hear about this.
Cupid's watched the entire thing pretty much entirely motionless and silent, and before, as if snapping out of it, and he starts to go over towards one of the main entrances of the termite spire.
Only a fool would go in there. We might as well get started. I feel a little bit offended. I believed that we had recreated this land, only to find out that they've just found a few more vagrants lying underground.
Yeah, well, it's news to me too. Who, Beatrice says, kind of also a little bit irritated, but there's no way that she was gonna show that that. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, whatever. That doesn't matter right now. You heard, you all heard her. I guess. As well, if you need us, we'll be out here with these things. He's kind of referring to this flower creature that's been and still grazing.
Oh, and while we're away, I will give you further conversation about the birds and the bees.
Beatrice practically, yeah, Beatrice practically punches his therapist and practically yells at him, "Why did you have to phrase it like that?" And, then just starts heckling him, and well, practically dragging him away.
So quit hitting me. You know I bruise like a peach.
Why do you have? With all the heckling and Beatrice practically dragging him, the bigger creature pretty much just casually gets up and goes to follow them.
Hiroku gives a shrug and he begins to make his way to the entrance of the gigantic anthill.
Having finishes working on what he was working on, and he puts his little tools away, and he has a little helmet with a flashlight fixed to it, and now he's putting it on and flips it on.
All right, so the three of them venture into the entrance of the gigantic dirt hill, and what we see here is to be expected, as that is just these gigantic tunnels full of rocks and dirt that just kind of seems to be dug out of the dirt in all sorts of different directions. There are two or three areas that lead just directly outside of the anthill. The one where everybody had walked in on, and then the one in this corner, and the one in this corner, and then there just kind of tend to be four tunnels. Well, there are four tunnels above and three tunnels below.
So just tunnels all over the place.
Havoc, that's a very interesting head torch that you've created.
I mean, it's gonna be dark in here. I think that this makes sense, practical.
I've never really even worried about things as a dragon. I can actually see in the dark.
Kibe nods as if agreeing with the Dairoko. Oh,
There it is.
Well, this has been one of Evolution's little jokes. So, I'm a little loath to do this. Deroku reaches for his belt and he pulls out a limb from one of the zombified cicada skins. He holds it out to Havoc.
Sniffs it.
This is probably the best lead that we have at the moment. And after a little bit of sniffing, he just throws it over his shoulder. Give me an investigation.
Wow, we have 5 successes.
Mm-hmm.
ooh.
All right. So almost immediately, you feel as though you are being pointed towards the 4 upper caverns.
That way, you guys.
Mhm.
And he points toward where the scent is guiding him.
Mm-hmm. Daroka says, you don't have to point. Just go ahead and take lead.
So he goes ahead and bounds ahead of everybody.
Mm-hmm. 40,
Excitedly.
50, 60s. So he has an enormous amount of movement. So
Yes,
he's found
he's very
himself in this
fast.
section. Yeah.
Yep, and Cube is following him behind. And
All right. All right. So Havoc has moved forward. QB has moved behind.
I guess-
Daroku for the first. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Okay,
I lost my train of thought anyway.
So Daroku for the first time pulls his sword, and it's a little strange because it's a practice sword, but it also seems to be carved out of a giant tusk. Some of the finest, most indestructible material, although it does come from animal life again. I hate to be the person who keeps having to put you through this, Vanessa.
It's. She trails off. She's looking Daroku up and down, just kind of uneasy. Hubie, wait for me!
Okay, so she goes ahead. And then last to come across is Daroku. As he goes along, he self-narrates I thought I would be a little bit more of a leader in this situation. I really wish I would have asked my grandpa Tanaka a little bit more about leadership before I left. Okay, everybody give me a perception.
all right,
Oh,
perception.
let's go. What is my perception? It is. Okay.
Let's see here for the.
Oh no.
Well, you're blind.
To be fair, I lived in the talking animal land for a while.
Yeah, I imagine all that bright sunshine and rainbows probably hindered your eyes a bit.
Not to mention tuning out all the music.
Yeah, I imagine it's all nothing but
It's,
tra-la-las.
Old Havoc is super distracted by I don't know something, but he got 0 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, he is kind of following his nose.
He is are not his primary processing sense right now.
Yeah, when your friend is pretty much when your only friend is pretty much Internet Explorer, you tend to lose a couple of brain cells.
Yeah.
So out of 4, would you suspect I have the highest success? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty ironic for the character here whose eyes are covered like the emo kid.
So, directly to the left of Daroku, there just kind of seems to be just a small eruption of dirt. Okay. And another pair that is directly in front of Havoc and in front of Vanessa. And so, out of the ground sprouts this strange-looking creature. It almost looks like a gigantic slug or a leech, but it also has a talon right at the very top where you would assume its head would be. So, 3 of those just spring out. Okay. Say, is immediately in melee with Havoc, 1 in melee with Vanessa. Well, between Vanessa and Doroku, and that is where that's where the eruption that Doroku saw was.
Wait, hold on. I can't see anything. I think my thing is loading.
Havoc exclaims, "Watch out! Don't let these guys clap you!"
Clap? What?
I have a hand for a head. I don't know. It was funny.
Well, I didn't see because my thing was just lagging. Oh, okay, there it go.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, now I see what they are. Ugh.
Well, what would you venture to call this thing, QB?
Cube ponders for a bit. Well, seeing the pretty much crawl out of the ground. And they wellness.
Daemonus is a perfectly appropriate name. And now we're on page 1, going by Edge. Should have had my own character sheet up. As, of course, Havoc being especially fast.
Yes. Am I first in the turn order?
The QB's is usually a 7.
I thought you were talking about the edge.
Yeah.
Like Cube's edge is 16.
Oh, okay. So then QB would go first.
Alright, Cube will go for a basic slashing attack for the one that's near Havoc.
Alright. Who's there? Or
Yep.
at any other angle? Alright.
Kind of like next to Havoc.
Oh, it's next to Havoc, okay.
Yeah, next to Havoc, and I'll go for a swing attack at this thing near him. Basic slash.
Yep.
1 moment. Just gotta calculate, all the dice. Let me see here. Okay, I think that's 7D.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
Right. Alright, and since I have armor pierce, the defense is in half.
4. Okay. So there's a chance it might roll the equal amount, so I'm going to roll defense. And it does not. So you strike it, and you strike it in a way where your claws immediately tear through it. And it appears to be either beheaded or severed, depending on how you want to look at it from the perspective.
Alright, from Cube's first swing at it, practically it's almost immediately teared apart, ripped apart her with a screech. Each as it seems to have been dissected into like 3 chunks, as it at least twitches a little bit before it just goes limp.
As it falls on the floor, it begins writhing again. Hiroku says something to the effect of, how long is it that an insect lives after it's been beheaded?
Cube kind of understands what Dairoko is saying, and decides to just this stomp on, to just crush his head by stepping on it.
Okay, so You're doing this as an extension. Roll one less die than you did previously.
Oh, okay. So 60. How's that?
A second defense roll. So, yeah. You crush it, and then the rest of the disconnected body just immediately stops moving. Okay, you gain...
Great job, kid.
Okay, so you gain one... It's not inspiration.
Alright, inspiration, woohoo!
One resolve point. You gain one resolve point.
Yay!
Okay, and this one dies. Okay, second turn is either Havoc or Vanessa.
You cut out there.
He wanted you to go first.
Okay. Then let me take a look real quick. Let's see. I got a level 5 aura poison tip spines. I think I'll give that a try then. So I'm going to attack the one that's closest to Deroku and me.
Alright.
So the spines, I got the 5D that I can use. There we go.
So you see Vanessa just grow spines over her body and then just lunge herself at the creature. You know, still keeping her feet planted so she doesn't just stick to the side to it like a dart. And then pull back. And so that's a total of 3 successes. And so it sticks to the side of the Daemonos, and the Daemonos rise, does a strange lunge with his body in order to detach Vanessa, and just kind of begins to twitch its hand-like head. It appears as though it's paralyzed. Oroku says, Vanessa is often such a sweet girl. I often forget that she's venomous.
Am I still holding on for dear life?
No.
Or
I'm pretty sure,
dispatched.
like, the mere fact that thing tried to direct you just made it end up being completely poisoned.
Alright. So, Havoc is next.
Is next. I have a quick question about. He has this blast power that shoots fireballs. Do those come out of his hands, or have we established?
I
think
want you to
those come out
decide
of his
that.
mouth.
That one's up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I want them to come out of his mouth, and he's going to exclaim, "Spicy Bork!" and shoots the fireball at the far one to the right.
Alright, roll your attack. Okay, that looks like 5 successes.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
6 successes.
Mhm.
6.
So, it takes the hit. It catches fire, but still seems to be moving even though it is on fire. So, Deiroku will go ahead and will take a swipe with his sword.
Before you move away, the thing got hit with the fireball, but it didn't go down. Havoc, for flavor, does the little dog side head tilt a little bit in question of it not just, falling to the spicy bork. And now.
Okay, Deiroku says this, he says, I wonder if part of its anatomy is completely flammable. Like a oil lamp or a flaming bag of poop.
Will you stop taking notes and help us before you get yourself hurt?
Oh, yes, all right away. He swings this houndstooth. He swings, what appears to be this mammoth tooth-like practice blade. 5. Once again. This one hits above the fence. The Dioscoros just kind of flops over onto its side and seems to twitch a little bit more. Doesn't seem to have the ability to be very threatening after it's been injected with Vanessa's poison. And now, top of the round, the one that's on fire just kind of begins to lurch towards the upper part, and this is as far as it gets. The other one just eventually gives off a death rattle, and it falls, keels over, and dies.
Oh, all right. And seeing this thing trying to get over to him and Havoc, Cube will pull a manifest one of his large flat shadow claws. It just not even bothering with moving from his spot. Will just try to slam that down on it to just completely crush it.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
All right, see here. All right, 13D.
All right.
Let's see here. 10 and 3.
Okay.
All right.
I need you to give me one defense roll.
What?
And
Defense?
Yes. Passively, the creature is on fire.
But it's like with the shadow claw, though. Technically, that's not.
Oh, okay, so you're not making contact with it. Okay, so...
Yeah, it's technically not physical contact.
Mhm.
Act.
So, in response...
Yeah, I chose
the
to do the
claw-
shadow claw thing instead of just slashing at it.
Well, in response, it just kind of rises away forward, but then it swings in your direction while still partially on fire.
Wait a minute, didn't my attack just completely kill it at that point?
No, because that I had won the defense roll in that one.
Wait a minute, but
No, hang on. I miscounted.
yeah, miscount.
Yeah, so that is a total of 7 successes. Okay, let me start over. So, you grip the thing with a shadow claw. You have it in what, seems like some kind of grapple. What do you do next?
Yeah, Kibe just watching this thing writhe and kind of make its horrible noises of pain. Cube just has the shadow claw squeeze it, just completely squeeze it until it just like pops into like a pile of blood and guts, whatever it was. And as the shadow claw dissipates, it's like all that would be like stuck on any sort of pain, and just falls off as if there was no hand even there. And the rest of the remains of this creature just fall into the floor.
Yep, alright. And then that is over. Doroku looks at just all the flying bodies and just the enormous amount of gel-like matter that had erupted from the one that QB squeezed to death. And he says,
Cube gave it a little death hug.
well, I'm a little bit curious. Was that really one of Beatrice Comecrackle's creations? But that wouldn't make sense
Cube-
because you wouldn't have sent them a year after us.
Cube in response to what Deroka said, kind of picks up a chunk with the with his thrall gauntlet and kind of brings it over for Deiroka to have a better look at it. And the matter in his in this claw in his claw's grip seems very akin to like the horrible smell of rotten flesh.
Mm-hmm. I think I know what to do here. And you see him take out a burlap bag and just wrap the anatomical goo and seal the bag and put it back into his pouch. He says, I'm silently praying that that's not a loose knit. I'm going to have to ask my grandpa in order to freeze out my backpack at the end of all of this.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want your snack to get spoiled. You're going to want to eat that later.
Vanessa's holding her nose. Or worse yet, don't mistake that for your snacks.
Yeah, Cube pretty much nods and says, it's like, Cube's tried dead enemy before. That works. And he pretty much nonchalantly goes to follow Havoc down the same trail that they were following earlier. Like what he said just wasn't a big deal at all.
Okay. I'm going to need another intelligence check.
Alright, for which one of us?
For Havoc. We're following his nose again. Everybody in the assembled party decides to return to following Havoc's nose.
Oh yeah, we're going with the Toucan Sam method.
You know, I do have tracking scent at 8 points, which is greater than my intelligence roll. I am going to use that going forward. So we're going to use my 8D roll. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes. 7 successes. To follow my nose.
Follow my nose.
As my sense of smell isn't as keen, but perhaps with all of the guts around the tunnel, I should be happy about that. So, you feel the strongest scent begin to emerge from this hole, but this hole also just has a very large boulder obstructing it.
So he borks excitedly with a little bit of a jet of fire coming out of his mouth, not to any kind of harmful effect, just to emphasize his excitement.
So Doroku slowly approaches. He looks like the hole and he says, I think there's a good chance we might be able to climb over it.
Cube nods with Vanessa and pretty much goes over and starts to, pretty effortlessly climb over it.
Yeah, Vanessa can also wall climb with ease.
Yeah.
Being a dog, I feel like perhaps Havoc might struggle with this task.
Oh, no worry with that. Cube then manifests two of his shadow claws and reaches over for Dairoko and Havoc to grab on so he can lift them up. And with while holding on, Cube pretty much picks them up and brings them up to the top of the rock as well.
At this point, I don't know who to thank more, QB or perhaps Mazelthad.
Cube pretty much shrugs and says, both okay. And then Cube pretty much just starts to squirm his way through the top of the hole.
All right. So we go into the tunnel. This seems especially familiar looking to Havoc. It's exactly like the tunnels at home.
This is just the tunnels at home. And he starts sniffing around for reacquire the scent and make sure he's where he thinks or where he wants to be.
Hmm. And so he can still find a definitive trail, and he continues to move forward.
Absolutely, and he's very excited to do so, and is uh, being careful to not run too far ahead. But he's very anxious to get this going, and he can't believe how slow everybody else is.
And so, yeah, everybody is just kind of moving at the full extent of their movement over 2, 3, 4 turns, trying to keep up with Havoc.
Is Havoc's movement compared to everyone else anyway?
Well, he's
Just-
probably trying to make sure we could keep up as well, so...
But I mean, like,
But yeah,
Vanessa has
it-
extra limbs.
Havoc has an agility of 6, but his
Well, I mean, extra limbs doesn't technically mean you move faster.
True.
agility is 6, so I guess his movement would be 60 per turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vanessa's able to mostly keep up. The quicker that Havoc goes, she starts to slowly fall behind. Just by a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cube might also be kind of falling behind a little bit as well.
Havoc isn't getting too far ahead. He's making sure that he still has a visual on people before he starts running off too far, but he's excited.
Yeah, but that's spicy Bork!
Spicy Bork!
Yeah, spicy Bork!
Okay, so before long, you do see the other side of the temple. I mean, before long, you see the other side of the tunnel. And you find yourself in this area. Whoops. Wrong icon. Spoilers.
Yep, we'll just keep that a little secret for now. We'll use the magic of editing.
Mm-hmm. I'm missing Vanessa.
Also need Vanessa and Cube.
Hmm. QB, all right. So it's really this area appears to be really strange. It does seem to be a little bit more humid in here. There's definitely a lot of the feeling of damp water all around us. And there are raises in the walls. There are raises in the ground that look a lot like walls. And there's an enormous amount of cobwebs everywhere.
Doesn't smell right here, guys.
Say that again.
Something doesn't smell right here, guys.
Yeah, I would call that mildew.
Mill what?
Cube kind of makes a different kind of inquiry to like Vanessa's, but like he just says, "Do?"
Yeah, it's something that I usually have to scrape off of the dojo bathtub. There are these little blue spires, and Deiroku reaches his hand to touch one. Smooths his hand over it. Ice.
Ice?
I don't know what ice would be doing deep underground. Everything else is perfectly explainable.
Cube is kind of going a bit further than everyone else, kind of looking more at these this ice that seems to be manifesting all over the place.
Okay, give me some form of detection roll. Anything at
Alright,
all.
text. Alright, let me see here. I'll do investigation with a 6D.
All right.
Alright, how's that?
Mm, all right. Okay. You feel drawn to a room, particularly the room in the very upper right corner that is black in the map, has a black floor in the map.
Oh, the one with the black floor?
hmm
Sure.
You've had this sensation before. The last time you felt it was when you were in the war-torn lands.
Cube's kinda shaking.
hmm
You can tell it's almost like he's starting to get kind of scared.
Vanessa immediately picks up on this. Yubi? What's wrong?
I think I.
Cube,
Oh, sorry.
but,
Go ahead.
but no, you keep going.
Yes, I think I read about this in one of Brainy's notes. Is that QB seems to have a very natural sense when it comes to the presence of dark magic.
Oh. I guess.
Cube,
No, you go first. You go first. You go first. Sorry.
well, Deroko is explaining it seems like Cube's already activated his thrall gauntlets again and looking ready for a fight.
Vanessa has her spear out, ready to attack.
And um, Havoc is going to inhale big to get another spicy bork ready.
Okay, give me another sense roll.
Uh, for my sense of smell.
No, actually for QB.
Oh, okay.
Alright, for Cube.
Mhm.
Alright, so another 60. Hmm. Can I spend a point of resolve to reroll again?
Yes.
Alright. Alright, better.
hmm
How's that?
That's good. I mean, so you feel compelled to move to that specific room, but you also have complete control of your facilities and you have freedom of movement.
Yeah, following this feeling, he starts to go towards that room.
Well, shoot. I guess I'm about to follow.
Okay. So the entirety of his movement. He seems to be standing between a puddle that is a mixture of ice and water, and just a single droplet coming off of the ceiling of the room and dropping into the middle of the puddle.
Since Havoc is quick and everyone else is kind of bottlenecking, can he go around the other way? I
Mm-hmm.
imagine he would be impatient with everybody.
Yeah. See, Deroku says,
And seeing Havoc go like, so again, Cube suddenly bolts almost in a panic, trying to making sure to get himself in front of Havoc.
mm-hmm. so, so then, yeah, what ensues kind of looks almost like a very high speed race between Havoc and QB.
Yeah, if
So,
anything, Cube's trying to
8 movement, another 6
Cube
movement.
and Cube when he's catching up to Havoc, he's kind of gasping, Havoc, no.
Okay. Um, Give me another sense roll, QB.
All right. What will that result in?
Um, let's see. Okay, that looks like 3, 5 successes. Okay. So, in rushing up to Havoc, the both of you collide with each other and then you fall forward. But then, almost immediately afterwards, a icicle from the top of the cave just breaks off and then falls directly in front of them.
Pure reflex. Havoc emits a spicy bork at the fallen ice stalactite.
Mm-hmm. So, no need for this roll, it immediately melts. And you gain a resolve.
Yeah, Cube, hey, I pretty much practically scramble, moves to back away, and practically back legs right up into the wall of one of these rooms, looking completely scared out of his wits.
Deiroku says, was that a landfall? Or was it an intentionally set trap?
Who knows, but we need to keep our wits about us. We can't just keep running off.
I agree. Perhaps I can show you some kind of special meditation technique. And as he's walking, he takes one step forward before another one falls just directly at his feet and he leaps backwards. um, Vanessa, perhaps you want to give us some tips when it comes to being careful?
Always keep your wits about you. Try to get a good look at your surroundings wherever you go. Never let your guard down for a minute.
All right. So, from Vanessa, I would like a perception.
Perception. Let's go. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. That's not. It could be worse.
Mhm. Let me just check that. That's yeah, that's 2 successes. I mean, Dereku just immediately takes the icicle that had fallen directly in front of him and pushes it forward. And when he does, the ground immediately in front of him falls downward.
Wait, what?
Just it falls downward, and then there's a chasm there.
Oh.
The icicle was heavy enough in order to drop the floor, and now we're standing on the ceiling of what is probably another layer of this place.
Hmm.
You hear that? That's thunder on my microphone.
I
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard it the first
Yeah,
time.
I
I thought it
also
was
heard
someone moving their mic.
The thunder hit here at my house first, and then like 2-3 seconds later, it hit over where you're at, Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool.
Yeah, kind of like perfect, like, kind of ambience thing to add to the tension.
For sure.
So ju-
Kyubei's finally starting to calm down after practically, sliding to where he's just practically sitting on the ground.
Hiroku is looking down into the hole. It extends a little bit farther than his ability to see in the dark, and it just continues to be black underneath. I don't suppose any of us brought any rope.
Hearing that, Kyubei comes over and once again activates his long shadow claw and gives a little thumbs up with it, showing that he can in fact have to have something that can serve as a rope.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, well, I nearly forgot about that, and I only just saw it a moment ago.
Right, so Kyubei will help with the little exploration by lowering his friends down.
Hmm. So, capable of spider climbing down the chasm um, with Havoc and Deroku in tow.
Yeah,
And
we'll probably
Vanessa.
take point if he can because he's got the
Yeah, Vanessa
flashlight.
would probably also help out because she has more than one pair of limbs.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay, well, we say that QB is taking Havoc and Vanessa is taking Deroku, and is really just holding them in additional millipede limbs.
Yep, Kyubei is using his spider limb as well, holding Havoc with his shadow claws as he uses the spider limb to pretty much wall crawl down.
Hmm. So eventually, we reach the bottom of the chasm. We can see a clear ground, and once again, we're in another similar-looking tunnel. And say, I've really hope that I'm going to be able to track our way out of this as soon as we try to make it back to the top.
Don't jinx it like that.
Have confidently says, "Oh, no problem, kid. We have tunnels like this where I'm from everywhere. I definitely know how to navigate systems like this. That's what this helmet is for." And he taps on the flashlight helmet.
Mhm. So he taps one, two, three times, and then the light goes out.
Oh,
Say, how were you powering that? Maybe you can jiggle the generator a little bit.
Yeah, so Havoc takes off the helmet and fiddles with it a little bit with one of his tools, and his cursing to himself under his breath. Is there any kind of can I roll technology to see if I get this to work, or is it
Mm-hmm.
story effective to just have it go out?
No, you can do that.
Okay, technology is a 6, so let's roll that. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 successes.
Hooray for technology.
Mm-hmm. And so eventually, yeah, you knock the light back into position, and it turns on again. Immediately afterwards, without very much prompting, you feel the whole tunnel begin to rumble, like a spell of vibration under everyone's feet.
Having experience with tunneling and spelunking in general, would Havoc have a frame of reference for this?
Um, okay, give me an intelligence roll.
Okay. My intelligence. Actually, my tunneling is greater than my intelligence. Can I lean on my tunneling?
Yes.
Okay. Tunneling yields 5 successes.
All right. So, I mean, you almost immediately can feel the sensation, whatever is making the tunnel rumble. is coming from the other side of the tunnel and directly towards the four of you.
Guys, something is rattling the tunnel, and it's big. You guys should get ready. And his he kind of curls his lip and snarls, and the hairs on the back of his neck and shoulders bristle up.
Vanessa hisses and grabs her spear out, ready to attack.
So, from emerging from the other side of the tunnel is just this gigantic, almost robotic-looking millipede, and it seems to be like barreling forward by moving its long, thin-like body like a worm, and virtually is the size of the tunnel itself. Is that it thunders up and down, knocking on the sides and the roof of the tunnel, and starts coming directly for you.
Oh, lovely.
The Oroku says, "Oh, that's Nerotomos, but they're not that large on the outside. We were before."
Also, does this mean this thing is literally running from the ocean?
It is running from the other side of the tunnel, and it is coming straight towards you.
Oh boy.
You just see
Yeah,
its
it's got
head and its
charging
forelimbs.
eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, as it's galloping.
Quick clop like a horse.
Like a herd
More
of
like
horses.
a whole army of horses and just one monster.
Wow. You sound like two horses.
At least.
I'm so hungry. How hungry.
How hungry.
Yeah, how hungry.
I'm so hungry I can run for my life.
Yeah, same here. Like, I'm so hungry I really don't want to die.
Mm-hmm. So, Edge, QB's going first.
Yep. Alright, immediately he seeing this, like just charging right at the QA will attempt to Shadow Claw slash it in the face and at least an attempt to drive it off.
Alright. Roll your attack.
I have a see here. Preview. Next.
Okay. 7 successes. Its defense.
How much
Okay.
did it just get?
So that's a 9 out of a 15. You try to claw at it, but it feels as though just the tips of your claws just bounce off of the armor of its head. It's still barreling towards everyone.
Oh, lovely.
Oh yeah, that's just great. QA's claws is pretty much completely shredded everything so far except this thing.
Alright.
Oh wait, hold on. Can I spend a point of resolve to use stun?
Yeah.
Alright. So seeing this, Kibe stops for a second, just decides to just completely scream at full volume at it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 2D.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Okay, 3
Alright.
successes. So I'm going to have to come up with just improvise an olfactory sense defense here. Okay, so you do a total of 3, it does a total of 3.
We tied?
Your sound, the sound of your voice reverberates off of the walls, and you almost virtually hear it echo, and then touch the feelers of the Nerotomos, and have it, turn back around and emit the same kind of shriek.
Oh.
And so it's like a, it's just a wash at this point.
What?
It's still stampeding towards you.
Oh, great. Well, Cuba can't do anything now.
Mm-hmm. So then we have...
We got this thing that's pretty much able to take a direct hit to its face, so that's still barreling right at us.
Mm-hmm. So we're with Havoc or Vanessa.
Yeah, Havoc or Vanessa, like, you two got any bright ideas, Professor?
I feel like your poison spear will be less effective than my spicy bork.
If you want to go first, go right ahead.
Okay, we're gonna spicy bork at this.
Yeah, at this rate, we just have to make it stop charging directly at us, because this is practically a train coming right at us. The most we can do is redirect it.
So that's against a defense of 12 out of 15.
Oh, that's not good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no.
So it runs at a speed through which, the flames just kind of seem to cascade around it.
Oh,
It's
great, so now it's a
blowing-
chain surrounded by a bit of fire for a second.
Hey, wait a minute. Cold, dark tunnel, right? Are there any, like, it's stalactites, right? The ones that are above on the ceiling? Are there any icicles or anything like that?
There were in the mausoleum room, but there isn't here. It is just
Yeah.
a completely rounded cave.
Well, the only other thing I can attempt to do, and it's probably not gonna do much, it's the poison spit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, level 4, let's go, let's give it a shot. Huh. We'll see.
A total of 3. Okay, yeah, he beats that.
Well, we're boned.
He gets hit by the spit, and you can see that it has gotten into his eyes, and he begins to shutter his eyes, but he's still coming forward. That's, oh Lord, he's coming. Distance at this point. Hiroku will attempt to use lightning breath. It inhales and then exhales just very large crackling wisps of blue colored lightning.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about all this in advance. I'm sorry about all this terror, everyone, for just this one thing.
Alright, well, he... Well, hang on a second. Yeah, he deflects that just as easily as well. And so, at this point, you can see that he's coming in melee range and he's still at the exact same speed as he was when he was first running. I need everybody to describe to me a reaction.
Okay. Hey,
Who's
alright,
closest?
Cubic, see that nothing they're doing is even making a dent on this thing. Yeah, Cubic he quickly grabs everyone, I don't know, with his claws, it just, with his, like, shadow claws, spider legs, whatever, and just leaves to at least scramble up to the ceiling, so hopefully, they can at least dodge this thing.
Vanessa adds some support by using her extra limbs to hold on to everyone as well.
And Havoc is going to assist with this endeavor by doing some tunneling to the situation so that we can kind of move in 3D space into another area where maybe we can be out of his way.
Mhm.
Yeah, make some extra room in the ceiling. Because this
Yes.
thing practically is the size of the tunnel.
Yeah, that's the idea, is to make some extra room in the ceiling using my tunneling power.
All right. So everybody, roll what your reaction is.
Reaction? What is that?
What you had just described.
So what I would just describe, I mean, wall climbing,
Like
I
our
guess?
abilities? Is that like our abilities combined by our powers combined?
I mean, it's every one of your respective abilities.
Well, I got 6
Okay.
successes with what I just did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see here. 2, 3, 6, 2, 5, 11, 14. Okay, 14D, 14D.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Let me
So,
see here.
mm,
10 and 4.
mhm.
Is it enough?
So that's 4 successes. I need Marin's. Oh, yeah, you're already up
She
there.
rolled
1,
it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, what had happened is that Vanessa actually took the slightly higher speed in this situation. While wall climbing, she grasps QB with additional limbs and pulls them up the side of the wall at just the right amount of timing for the Neurotromos to dip its head over the underside of the ceiling and avoid crushing them. Um,
They
At-
survived!
at the same time, Havoc begins to tunnel. And not seeing any personal way out of this, Deroku leaps into the tunnel as well. And so he manages to dig things just deep enough so that their heads stick out of the bottom. Stick out of the top half of the tunnel as it goes by.
Man, I imagine like that thing just sprinting by is practically earth rattling at that at close proximity.
So
Mhm.
Deroku is breathing very heavily. We're safe.
Yeah, Cube looks like he's forgotten to breathe for a little while.
Everyone okay?
Say, oh, we're all okay down here.
Phew. Oh my gosh, that was close.
Both.
Cube is practically on the ground from like exhaustion from the pure fear. And just like raises a little thumbs up.
We didn't even make a scratch on that thing.
Okay, so Deroku and Havoc.
Cube kind of looks at the path that it took and looks at Deroku and says, "Isn't it supposed to be an ocean?"
I don't know. There's something that's influencing the animals that are down here in this tunnel that really has nothing to do with the hag or with Mazelthod.
Cube thinks for a little bit longer and says, "Looked scared."
Say Havoc. Why don't you angle us at maybe about 45 degrees and tunnel a little bit more downward?
He does so. Do I need to roll for tunneling, or are you just going to give
Mm-hmm.
me let me do that?
Yeah. You can. Yeah, he goes ahead and he begins to tunnel at a 45-degree angle, a little closer down. And eventually he finds the opening to the other side of the tunnel. It's just as I suspected, as with the room up above. There are really just inch-thin areas of this tunnel We've just dug ourselves into an even deeper level.
I think it's
Well,
going to take point and continue to, tunnel with
mhm,
exuberance and glee, happy
mhm.
to be able to help his friends.
So once he's at a place where the floor meets the ceiling again, um, he reaches the bottom, and then you just kind of see just walls and walls and walls of chewed up pieces of debris forming tunnels in multiple directions. Every hole is big enough in order for somebody to walk in and out. And then there's just a massive, center area it's like a cavern with all these tunnels at the sides.
Can I pick up the scent again? Or
Okay.
attempt to?
Yeah, go ahead and try.
Okay. Uh, 5 successes.
Hmm. And so, yeah, the smell is actually overwhelming. You only have to walk just few feet forward before you get picked up by your before your lantern picks up um, just a room full of random cicada skins strewn left and right about the room.
Going to
Cube kind of flinches at the
point.
sight.
I'm
Yeah,
going to point and excitedly bork.
uh, we came down here in hopes of finding the lost Arthrophage civilization. But it's a bit discouraging to just find more exoskeletons.
Cube actually ponders a bit and is saying, why are they all here?
And so you do hear something like just the sound of faint murmuring in the distance. I mean, it sounds like human speech,
Mhm.
just very, very far off into the corner.
Cube jolts around to hearing this noise. He's
Okay, so we find, we eventually do find um, more of the Arthrophae, but what we witness is almost as horrifying as the exoskeleton strewn about the ground. Everybody seems to be clad in a white colored robe. They are tied together using metal chains over the backs of their heads. They are holding very large chunks of ice, and they seem to be marching them up a hill onto a throne.
what?
So you allow your eyes to just wander further up the throne, and eventually you see this individual. He looks a reptilian, like many of the reptiles are above the ground, but he's wearing a cloak, just has flashing yellow eyes, and is just sitting with his legs crossed on top of the throne as everybody continues to uh, march the ice flow up towards the area around him. They seem to be pushing the ice just along the bottom half of it in order to just make the underside of the throne a lot taller. You see a band of like 20 Arthrophae lift up the bottom half, slide ice cubes underneath, and then set it down and set it down again.
Cube is absolutely frozen in absolute terror at what he's seeing right now. Oh, it seems like he's actually trying not to move a single thing.
Vanessa is shaking with anger and rage. I've been alone for years, and this monster has been holding all of us back.
Have it. He's like, oh, he's ice. This should be easy. And he readies a inhale for another spicy bork.
So almost immediately, Doroku just reaches out and then closes his maw. I'm a little bit concerned about what their loyalty is because they probably outnumber us about 30-1.
See the way they're shackled? There's no way they can be loyal to something like that.
Point taken. And so, eventually, you see 4 of the Arthrophae just approach the tunnel that you're in and toss the body of an Arthrophae directly in front of you. He is very badly injured, and it looks like he's almost about to die.
Cuba, like, suddenly, like, jolted back to reality from that. Immediately goes to the Arthur fan in front of him, trying not to let him die.
See. So it reaches out with its 4 feelers, touches the bottom of QB's feet, and looks up at it. It is you. Monselthaw's chosen. I may not be long, but at least I'm happy enough to have seen your return.
Cuba falls dead quiet, and he gently moves him over to the side, and at least try. And Cuba actually takes off his little costume, and like ties as much of it as around his wounds as he can, and and to at least make sure he doesn't die. I,
Mm-hmm. So he's still laying there prone. I don't know if you've been able to dress my wounds properly enough, but it doesn't matter because you are about to complete your work.
and Cuba, without his costume, he's finally seen by his new group of friends, and with two big round yellow orbs of light for eyes, which are now starting to drip tears at this sight. And,
I didn't prepare the picture. Sorry about that.
and so, he stands up and shakes off these tears, and immediately starts to uh, angrily go towards this intruder. Or,
Okay. So Deroku attempts to stop QB. Just brings a arm over to his shoulder, and is doing so using a might of 6. And so you're free to use your strength in order to oppose it. So then 1, 2, 3, 4 to his 1, 2. Well, it's only 2. So yeah, Deroku is not able to stop him. He just continues to start to march towards the scene.
Vanessa marches alongside QB.
And so they walk. They continue. There's just a very, just long enough space in between where all of the Arthrophe is working that it almost feels like it's a red carpet, just directly up the throne. And so, just from the superior angle, the this monster looks back down at you.
Cube looks back up at this monster, and he growls at the sight. And Cube, he pretty much says in a bizarrely stern voice, is let them go.
No. I have taken the Arthrophe. They are now my prisoner.
Cube narrows his eyes and these two bright balls of light, seeing seemingly being brightened with rage. Cube wasn't asking.
I know who you are. They all speak of you. You are Mazelthod's chosen. The world of the Arthrophe must have returned to the surface, but I will not give up my reign below.
Cube pretty much just throws back, and then fight at Cube coward. Or he says it, and he immediately slashes like a good chunk of the ice through. Oh no, with his thrall gauntlets. It's leaving deep gashes in the solidified frozen chunks.
So he stands up from the throne. Yeah,
All good.
he pulls from the side of this loincloth this strange looking object. It's just like a ring like piece of jewelry with chains falling to the sides of it. So he holds it out in front of his hands, and then just in this strange flash and just circulation of uh, enchanted bursts of mana in the form of a bright blue tornado, he transforms into this.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. And so, almost immediately, the entire cavern just gets consumed by a ray of ice. Everything, well, the Arthrophe in the front row, they just immediately freeze solid. And so from you, I am going to need a defense roll or some kind of reaction.
Alright, let me see here. Let me see here. Can I use agility?
Yeah, you can use agility.
Alright.
It's not nearly as strong as attack as the other one, but But nevertheless, the wave passes over QB, and he freezes solid in a block of ice. Say, okay, okay, we can't do anything. Grab him and run. And so Daroko immediately leaps forward and lifts the statued QB over his shoulder.
As if to make sure that no one else could possibly hurt them as they make their run. Vanessa is running backwards, continually spitting her poison.
Or launching those poison spines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either one works.
And so, yeah, you do that. You just spit you spit your poison on the ground, and it forms pools that are slightly eating away at the sand on the floor. So you don't see anybody coming up immediately behind you. Everybody is just kind of staying, and everybody is resuming their work. Some of them even climbing over the frozen bodies that were in the front row. So the four of you, well, the three of you, make it back to the tunnel, holding the frozen QB. Deroku puts him down. It says, "Havoc, you're gonna need to work on him."
How does my poison work? Can I, like, slowly corrode? Not, like, obviously not close up to where Cube is, but can she at least help corrode some of the chunks of ice to help free? Okay, cool.
So, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I've never seen anything the likes of that.
I think it's crazy. But if I'm not, you know, otherwise,
You're asked to help Mokibe up the ice.
yes, I'm going to fireball Bork the ice.
So, eventually, yeah, you did manage to whittle away at the ice just enough for QB to bring his head and shoulders over the icicle. More than likely, QB could use shadow limbs or their claws in order to run past the rest.
Well, I think he's probably probably fallen unconscious from such a strong attack right away.
It'll do you no good. He is too powerful. Is the voice of the recently redressed Arthrophay that is at your feet.
We're still alive?
You must be, for he has a destiny yet to be fulfilled.
And as if after saying that, had some kind of streams of black what appears to be water seeps through, but it's actually QV's shadow tendrils, which pretty much showered the ice as he gasped for breath.
Yubi!
Aizatin is too powerful. He has enslaved us over a period of decades with the relic that he holds upon his belt. It is a relic of powerful mana known as the Shackle of Evolution. It has been... Oh no, go ahead.
Cube getting back to his senses is pretty much getting up, but he's still trying to go back the way he came, even though he can only really stagger.
Yubi, no! We can't! Not yet!
Cube falls into Vanessa's arms and he kind of coughs a bit more. And he says, though, Cupid can't let him do this.
Take him back to the mausoleum. It has been said that there is another shackle of evolution somewhere within the catacombs, surrounded by a mysterious dark magic. It's the only way you'll be able to match the strength of Izeten.
Cupid kind of weakly grabs the arthrophage in his arm and says, please come with. Don't die.
I cannot make it. Even if I survive this, I believe that my lower limbs have been completely shattered. Go. Your courage will save us all.
After this, Cupid grits his weird mandible as before doing what the arthrophage before him tells him to go to the mausoleum.
And now, Cube, the warlock, the vessel of Mazelthad, has the ultimate task directly in front of him. He must finally brave and perhaps even embrace the dark magic found in the catacombs in order to be the one to liberate his people.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, let's do this.
And with that, we're going to be taking a break.
Woohoo!
All right, so we'll be back just in a short while with the final act of tonight's episode. Thank you, everybody, for remaining tuned in. Everybody feel free in order to freshen up a little bit, and then we will start the final scenario when we get back.
Alrighty.
Cool.
Hello, everyone. Brainy the RPG Cat here for a Dubby Energy Drink. You know, when you're a hardworking gamer, tabletop player, VTuber, or a magical cat wizard for the multiverse, you know you need a little help getting the boost that you need for your concentration. A boost that you know that you won't get with sugar and artificial flavors. That's why I forego the endorsement of certain other well-known energy drink powders, endorsed by some hedgehog, and go with Dubby Energy Drink. Dubby's main ingredient is all-natural Arabica plant extract. It contains essential amino acids, including taurine, and essential vitamins, including B12. And it doesn't give you the caffeine shakes, which is handy when your gaming requires some decent Twitch skills. Best of all, if you go to w.gg and use the code BrainySentMe at checkout, W will give you 10% off of your online order. So, for the magic potion that will sharpen your playing skills, head to w.gg and say Brainy sent me. So, welcome back, everybody, to One Shots from the Meowing Portal. So, when we last left off, QB and his friends were mounting an expedition in the middle of the Barron's Wasteland, led them downwards into a gigantic anthill which was believed to still contain the living members of QB and Vanessa's race, the Arthrophae. Upon reaching the bottom of the chasm, they found a despicable dictator by the name of Izestein.
Izeten.
Izeten. I did it again. Izeten.
I'm pretty sure that's going to become a running gag in this series.
Uh-huh. So Izeten has enslaved the remainder of the Arthrophae and was able to defeat the vessel of
Mazelthad.
I'm getting all these words wrong. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Was able to beat the vessel of Mazelthad very handily with a help of a mysterious crown. 4 adventurers managed to backtrack and make it all the way up to the mausoleum. We return here.
Meanwhile,
As Brady says, I sense a disturbance. And then he belches really loud.
Oh, gross.
That was a mighty disturbance, friend.
Yes, the force was strong with that one. So is this coffee. This is like orc coffee, you know. Alternatively, you could eat it with a spoon, like it's yogurt.
Yes, this is by far the strangest surface beverage I've ever had.
Yeah.
Completely, untouched. He hasn't touched his cup at all, and it's just this cold sludge in his cup, and he's like, I don't see what the problem is. It looks like oil. That's actually kind of appealing. This is like the first um y'all kind of food that I've seen that actually looks good to me.
Well, what do you know? It's 12 adventures, and we finally found out what Otto prefers to eat.
Yeah, didn't you say that you were going to talk to Bartholomew about accommodating Otto's needs?
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, Bartholomew didn't really come up with many very good answers.
Did you think to even, I don't know, ask?
No. And Brainy sips the cup again.
all this while Yube is going through a complete emotional whole character arc.
So, before we cut away, starts kind of like gobbling the thick, sludgy, black, cold yuck. That's it.
In the meantime, QB is going through probably one of the most difficult decisions of his life. And speaking of which, we
Yeah, not to mention
return.
one of the most traumatizing character developments I've ever seen.
Mhm. We return to the chamber. Doroku is furiously looking through Brainy's notes.
Well, have you found anything yet?
Um, I think I have. Say, okay, shackle of evolution, shackle of evolution. Okay, here it is. Um, the shackle of evolution is one of two very powerful magic items that is capable of being created upon the destruction of a land rich in mana. It's very likely that the Mr. Crocodile Rock downstairs created his when he completely and totally destroyed the original version of the Barrons.
Literal crocker rock,
So,
except it's a bunch of rocks of ice.
mhm. so Merlin's law of mana transmogrification states that any area rich in mana cannot have that mana destroyed. Instead, it is transferred into two powerful magical items. One composed entirely of light magic and the other composed entirely of dark magic.
So there's two. If we find where the other one is, she
Well,
looks over at QB.
I think
Cube
there's.
is still breathing pretty heavily. Yeah, you can see that without his costume, that even his limbs appear for it to have a couple of bizarre and natural moth holes in them. Like you can see right through some holes in his limbs.
Looks
Uh,
over at gosh, I'm sorry, the Deiroku, and he asks him. He's like, "Well, what form does the opposite, you know, physical manifestation then? If this is a collar with one."
well, suffices to say is that we know that the inside of that chamber contains a powerful dark magic. which QB is always drawn to like a moth to a flame. Perhaps this is what the Arthrophae meant when he said it is QB's destiny.
Cuba is pretty much shaking in the presence of the dark magic like nearby. It's practically percolating the area. That Cuba pretty much gets heads up, and he seems to like shake his head a bit, and he's remembering all the times where he was so drawn to dark magic. But he then shakes that away, and he appears to take a deep breath, swallow his fears, and open the door to the chamber where this artifact must be.
Hmm. So you move into the chamber. And so the sense that you have had over all this time is existent inside of a tomb that is on the upper half of the chamber, just resonating with this energy, and you continue to pull yourself towards it.
QA is practically shambling forward.
Mhm. And so you're faced with the tomb, the gigantic ornate slab, probably in the shape of a praying mantis lying on its back, is over the top of the tomb.
QA puts a bit of his claws on the lid and then starts to push it to open the lid.
Okay, give me a strength. Give me a power or a power.
All right, might check. All right, one momento, 1 5D coming right up.
Mm-hmm. You have 2 successes, so it's beginning to budge, but you know you're having a hard time pushing it.
All right, I'm gonna push again.
Mm-hmm. And so you hear Doreko come up and say, "Okay, I'm going to help." And he reaches forward and he pushes with his strength.
All right, QA nods and it begins to push with Deiroko's help. I'll add on my 5D on top of that.
Mm-hmm. So there is 4 successes as a result of 2 double 6s. My own is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so at this point, yeah, the slab falls off to the side, and you see um, this object just in the center of an otherwise empty tomb. It almost looks like a leash. It's covered with
QA is
thorns like a rose bush.
QA is looking at, kind of shaking a bit.
Havoc is inexplicably excited by the appearance of this object in a way that he cannot explain.
So Doroku turns around and immediately says, "Down, boy," and starts patting him on the nose. Turns back to QB, and he says, "Well, this definitely has the power to rescue the Arthrophae. But the one thing that really concerns me is what's going to happen after that."
QA is silent for a while. Well, before he says, then QA will work to fix it.
Yeah, we'll all work to fix it. Right, guys?
Of course.
Absolutely.
QA looks at all his friends and he says with what actually seems to be a general smile, and he says, "Thank you." And so then he turns around and goes to the object, and with a deep breath, at the grabs the artifact from inside the coffin.
Okay. Roll your willpower.
All right, willpower. All right, come on, willpower. Okay, that's a 4D.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 4 and a 6. How's that?
Mm-hmm. So that's a total of
Successes.
3. Mm. All right. So you pick it up and you can feel power coursing through it. But at least at the moment, nothing seems to be happening.
Cubic kind of flinches. Is that at this at the sudden surge of power, or but he does his best, as at least to get through that, and he pretty much puts it on pretty much seeing it practically easily. He's like he puts one end around the less extravagant part around his wrist, and the more extravagant part with a gem on it around his neck, completing his new look and seemingly bond with this artifact.
Mm-hmm. So this leash actually possesses some thorns, and they cut into QB's skin.
Cube flinches, but he still powers through it.
The You might have reached the conclusion as to why QB does have some kind of holes in his carapace, because as the thorns go into him, it just kind of seems to create more of that on his skin.
Yeah,
Mm. And
some
he,
go through the natural holes, and some go through some make new holes.
mm. and so before long is that you begin to feel this the same power emanating throughout the room. And so it just kind of feels like a dark cloud that washes over and it temporarily turns everybody's vision black, including the people who have dark vision. Okay, and when the cloud dissipates, you see this. QB has grown a substantial amount. He is pulsing with these dark and also radiant auras of light and of shadow. And as he walks forward with a shamble as though he is somehow lost or somehow just disenfranchised from what is immediately happening.
Yep, you can see that he's now practically covered with thorns in a new kind of costume, where it shows his eye. He's like showing his powerful flames, and the ribbon seems to have lengthened and taken the same form of his shadow claws.
So, as this is going on, um, everybody feels the temperature in the room just drop an enormous amount. Deroku cringes and he shivers.
Oh boy.
Say, Deroku is taken aback, is still in the same room as this monstrous new form of Cube. Say, he's still writing with his pen and paper, just furiously trying to take down everything that is happening.
And
Uh-huh. And so, entering from the opposite end of the room is the more monstrous version of Eisen
Isaitan,
Eisenton. Arriving from the other end of the room is the more monstrous version of Isoten.
Nessa's teeth are chattering both from the cold, and as a sort of means of asserting it's a defense mechanism. So I don't know where, but he's here.
Says, "What's going
Cube
on out
doing all
there? I
this.
can't see anything."
Cube during all this is still just standing there. He's completely he's like completely detached from any sort of a sense of a reality or anything. He's just breathing heavily.
Deroku
He
backs
has
up a
this
bit.
magic powers courses through him.
Do you know who I am?
Hearing his Cube, he has suddenly had jolts to look at Dairoko as some kind of a predator, or just noticing a small creature in front of it. And with the burning yellow eyes seemingly piercing through his very soul.
Mm-hmm. So, you hear the approach, footsteps thumping on the ground very loudly. As at this point, Isentina is just so large that he is just able to move through any of the dirt-covered wallways of this chamber and knocking them over as he's walking.
Hearing this, Cube looks away from Izzy and just even with just the ribbons on his new outfit, it easily seems to just completely break down on a new hole in the wall with just a single slash.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, Cube just casually walks out of it, still in some kind of trance.
Looks over at QB. Says, "As regrettable as it is that you found the relic, I admit I have been waiting for this day. Finally, someone is strong enough to oppose me."
Cube just turns and looks at Isaac and suddenly with an ear split and screaming immediately charges to brutally fight him.
Okay, so now we're in Edge. QB, of course, is going first.
Alright. Hey, let me see here. F16, let me see here. Let me see. Yeah. Will my how much should my powers get buffed from this?
So it was a +4.
Alright, plus 4 to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let me see here. 6, 10. Let me see here. 10, 17. 20. That's going to be a 31D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just for a double slash attack.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let me see here. 30 and 1. And armor piercing is still in effect.
I believe that was
31D is
16.
an insane attack.
Yeah, that's just the first.
So, I mean, this is just an engagement that is so powerful that it is just shaking the walls. Because you can feel as Vanessa and Havoc that you are trying to dodge left and right to keep the ceiling from dropping any kind of small rock or debris on you.
Yeah, not to mention dodging, this new sort of, it's a collateral.
Alright, so let me see. 1, So compared to QB's attack, Izayton is only has a defense of 9, so QB definitely lands the first blow. Give me a description of what you're doing.
And right now, Cube is just completely and unsensibly wailing on Isaac, and like he's completely lost all sense of humanity or anything that he had before. He's acting like a rabid, wild, magical powered animal.
Alright. So, surprisingly to everyone else, Isaac finds himself in the second course of Edge. His attempt to attack with talons cascading in ice results in a
What should I roll for defense?
It also rolls an attack of 9. So once again, this is your defense plus 4.
Defense plus 4, so like agility plus 4, so 10B.
Mm-hmm. So this is a 4 to his 9. So yeah, it just goes immediately in the other direction. He strikes QB and QB takes 1
Wait, hold
damage.
on. Can I spend some resolve to try again?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was his attack?
His attack was a 9.
Okay, so I'll try a 10D again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to spend a point of resolve. I don't even know if that was even better.
That one is a 5.
Oh.
Mm. So, yeah, precisely the opposite happens. He turns around, he strikes QB, and QB takes 1 damage.
Alright, that's 1 damage down.
So it's enough to take him back on his feet, sliding against the dirt on the ground, and knocking over the entire southern wall of the mausoleum. So here we would have either Havoc or Vanessa.
Havoc.
I am going to run in that little channel that exists between Cube and Isington to the south of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, through the tunnel to the south.
Yep.
So for the full of your movement, put you right about here.
Cool. And then we're going to go ahead and Spassaborg. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Alright. So okay, defense 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes. So you're able to hit him with the fireball, but the fireball just kind of falls off of him. It's just like the sheer cold of him seems to be enough in order to block the heat of the fireball. And now I need you to roll agility.
Okay. Agility is going to be 6. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. 6.
All right. Okay, so you feel just one of the massive arms of Izayton just reach out towards you and just narrowly miss you by the top of your head. Apparently, they are so big that they can do reactions against smaller characters immediately.
But yeah, I believe it. Like, Isaacson, even while hunched, is pretty tall, and now that he's standing more upright, he's probably even taller.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Vanessa.
Okay. Surroundings. What could I?
Well, I'm pretty sure like this a brawl between And Cuba and Isaacson is absolutely wrecking the place. So we're probably gonna get like a new ground every single page.
Neiroku says, run through the tomb. There is an exit on the other end.
Fine, but you're coming with me. So, using her limbs, she's going to carry Neiroku.
Yep. And so immediately he goes, yeah. He's taken off his feet. It's almost like watching Banjo-Kazooie, is that he's just hoisted backwards onto his back and then he's pulled outward.
You make a noise. Sorry.
Vanessa using him as a physical weapon.
So, what is your action?
My action,
Well, what can she do?
Exactly, what can I do? Huh. Alright, well, if she's not gonna think before she do, then she's going to spit.
Alright.
She's going to spit.
Alright.
I'm not expecting it to do much, but I'm at least, like, trying.
Okay. 4 successes. In response, that's 2. So, something is pretty much revealed at this point. You once again heave your poison spit at him. You catch him in the face and he roars backwards, brings up a claw to his face in order to rake it off.
Well, hey, I did something.
Hey, you did something.
He appears to be particularly immune to Arthrophae poison.
Never
Oh.
mind.
Damn, there it goes.
So, Havoc will put his in. Once again, he attacks with blue electric breath.
Alright, you said agility?
Well, no. This is my role. Unless you wanted to have, do a push turn or something like that.
Oh no, I thought I was gonna have to just like do an agility check real quick. It's fine.
No, I would say that he's just able to control his breath so it can arc over friendly targets. So 3 successes, but he has to roll against the whole of his defense. Okay, so that's a 5 defense to his 6, so he takes another damage. Now, before he takes his 3rd turn, as a reaction, he takes 1 damage as a result of being poisoned.
Yeah, do something.
So, he shouts, "Miserable ants! This is our fight!" And swings at QB again.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Okay, so 5 successes. Roll your defense.
Alright, same as before. 10.
Same as it ever was.
And as it always will be. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pluses? Oh. I don't know if that would even be enough.
Do it? No, yeah, because it was to his 5 attack.
Oh, wait, it does?
So you successfully defend against his attack.
Alright, Cube pretty much doesn't even really use his regular arms, as his ribbon shadow claws seem to be enough to just barely block his attack.
So top of the 2nd page, it is QB's turn again.
Alright, let me see here. Alright, going to go for like going to add this spider legs to the mix to multiply the previous damage, the previous roll even further to an extent, like adding some extra dice at least. If I do that, how much can I add?
Well, just what your total amount of your attack would be plus 4.
Oh, okay, so that would be 35.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. 30 and 5. And so pretty much Cube is spreading his spider legs again, and which also, which never before seen, are now also covered with the same essence as Shadow Claws, as he's just as adding even more things to slash and stab Isaacton, and with pretty much everything he's got.
So, there is no way that he could possibly roll over that, so he takes 1 more damage. So, he's staggering.
Everybody's looking pretty cut up.
Mm-hmm. And, so he's staggering, and, he moves 1 step backwards and falls over the south wall of this other cavern entrance, and he's knocked onto his back.
Cube pretty much leaps and what's keeping him over his over Isaac's or his shadow spider limbs, and Cube is screaming and is still just like screaming in Isaac's face, because he's lost any sense of sentience or reason. He's just out to kill.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much blinded by dark magic and rage.
Alright, so I need Havoc, Vanessa, and Derogu are all going to do a willpower save. So everybody roll the amount of your willpower.
Okay, does my willpower also get a buff?
Well, no, because this doesn't happen to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No!
3 successes.
I mean, my result is pretty fitting given the situation, but oh no!
Hold on. Oh boy. Right, yeah, I got 3 pluses.
3. Okay. So, just another enormous gust of ice just courses through the entirety of the room. Everybody who was above the attack does not freeze.
So literally only Vanessa freezes
Yes.
then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. So, start of the next section would be Havoc.
Okay.
Oh, there you are, Joe.
Yes, sorry. You guys went totally dead on my audio. I jumped out, jumped back in. So yes, I heard Mimi say that she predicts a spicy bork, and that was all that I heard.
So it's currently your
turn.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're gonna spicy bork it at Dwight D. Eisenhower.
All right.
And that is
Okay, that's a 3.
that's 4. Can I re-roll that? Can I spend my resolve to re-roll that?
Yes, you can.
Great, let's do that.
All right.
3 as well. Oh, that was pointless. All right.
If anything, that was less than the first one.
Yeah, that didn't really work out.
So you get the sensation that, he reeled back from being struck by fire this time. He brings his hand over to where he was struck. But unfortunately, it didn't seem to do any damage otherwise. Because he's working to slowly get back up onto his feet. So.
By the way, just a little side. I know. Well, during Kyubei's repeated fight, repeated slashes with him, the floor beneath of both of them is starting to crumble with that and the weakness the ice is causing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how much longer we can stand here. Daroku uses his lightning breath, and with a point of resolve, manages to take Vanessa out of the ice.
She's struggling to breathe.
Okay. Top of the third page. Daroku is back on his feet, and it is QB's turn.
Oh, alright, alright. Kyubei is not about to let Aizen get back up. He goes for yet another full power attack against him. And let's see, that will be another 35.
Mm-hmm.
5. Oh, that is a lot of pluses.
So yeah, that definitely beats what he does as his defense. He takes one more damage. He falls backwards, and you finally see the crown bounce off of his belt, and 2 or 3 steps in the distance. He immediately returns to normal. My power. But
cutting him off for while he's scrambling for the crown. These superpowered spider legs are pinning down like a sharp arrow sticking into the dirt, or with his superpowered spider legs. And Kyubei is practically standing over him, in stark contrast to when they first encountered. You can see that Kyubei's eyes are practically not mere orbs of light anymore, but two frantic flickering spheres of flame. And seeing sharp teeth practically within his jaw, oozing out tendrils of this black smoke. Kyubei is practically hellbent on seeing Aizen die right here, right now. And he lets out a guttural snarl down on him as he's gone completely black magic rabid. And while the floor continues to crumble even more.
Mm-hmm. So, I need a... Okay, I need a perception check from QB and everyone else.
From everybody?
Well... good
Right,
luck with
so
that, but
yeah, that's probably gonna be a 4 with him. Yeah.
That is 0 successes from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is most obvious to Vanessa and Dairoko, is that everything is starting to fall apart within the mausoleum. The entire ceiling is beginning to cave in.
We need to get everyone out now.
Iroku immediately rushes up to Kyubey. Grabs his robe from behind. Kyubey, if you're still in there, you need to get your friends out. Willpower.
Alright, yeah, willpower check.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Alright, let me see here. Here. 4. I mean,
Yeah,
that's 2 pluses.
that's only 2.
That's probably not going to be enough, isn't it?
Well, QB is still in vessel form. Yeah. Is still the vessel form of QB is still in control. So you have a reaction to do something like attack.
Yeah, by the way, Cubate practically doesn't even, once again, doesn't even use his actual lip. So another one of his ribbons simply, he smacks Dairoko away as soon as he touches him.
And so, yeah, he immediately flies over and hits this opposing sand wall, and his head tilts forward. He's unconscious.
Ooh, idea.
Good idea, you say?
Idea! I don't know if I have any resolve to burn, but if I can, I want to burn all of it in this.
Uh-huh. So, you currently have probably just the total amount of what is written on your character sheet.
Yeah, I don't think you haven't used, like, any the entire session.
You see, I'm trying to... Oh my god, What do you mean I have 14 resolve points?
Mm-hmm. As I had written it that way, but Vanessa is a character most defined by her resolve.
You know what? That's fair enough. I was thinking she was either going to use Attuned or she was going to use her Authority perk.
All right, so roll that, including all of your additional points.
Okay, so rolling for Attuned and I guess plus Authority? Is that how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're giving everything you got here. Your Cubate's about to go tumbling down if you don't do this.
7D, and then I'm going to use half of my...
Are you sure half?
Not half. I'm gonna use like 10D.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna like burn 3 of the resolve.
All right. Okay, 4 successes. That's going to be against QB's willpower once again.
Uh-oh.
Well, thankfully, that's only 1 success.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Vanessa has the ability to actually break through the QB this round. Specifically, what do you do?
So Vanessa uses her greatest big sister voice that she can. QB, you need to stop right now. If you don't, I'm going to tell Marin what happened.
Cubate is suddenly flinches after hearing that. It's like he growls, shrieks, and shudders as if he's finally breaking through. Oh, and then, finally coming back to his senses, he grabs all 3 of his friends and bolts out of the place.
Mm-hmm. And so you have the ability just to move in a straight line throughout all of the tunnels as they're collapsing behind you. You eventually find yourself at the outside of the anthill again, and the anthill begins to collapse until it just looks like a single dirt hill that is standing in the middle of the forest.
Vanessa breathes heavily, looking at the collapsed hill. Oh. Good thing that worked, or I wouldn't have been able to tell her either way. She's breathing heavily from the shock and from the anxiety of what just happened.
Who's breathing even heavier is Cube as the shadows start to dissipate as his friends drop to the dirt. And a sudden flash of light of color like earlier, where he's back to his regular old state, and then he falls flat on his face into the sand.
So, not very far from the where QB collapsed, you see Mazel thought again. I hope I didn't close that window. Um, Here it is.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. So you see wisps of shadow dissipate into her six talons. So she had clearly cast something in order to dissipate the excess shadow energy off of QB.
It is all right now, my children. Please do forgive him. He is inexperienced in such things. He has just discovered this new strength.
You're no stranger to manipulating shadow energy yourself, are you? Uh,
Mazel tov. Mazel thought, it tilts on her head a bit. Yes, darkness and light are all of one massive cycle that must keep moving. Ing, And thankfully, her journey was not in vain, and you have indeed discovered traces of your kind. The long gone Arthrophae are simply waiting further below the surface. Yes, and you have rid of this evil while attempting to destroy my precious thing, my precious worlds, also like before.
What about
oh,
the rest of us?
hang on. I think I need you to redo that line because it seemed to have cut off at the very end.
Dang.
All right, a second. And Mazel Tov then tilts her head and says, "Yes, life, death, the shadows and lights are all one big cycle that must both exist equally to keep harmony and balance. And and you've managed to keep at bay such threat to that cycle just now. No, do not fret. That your attempts are your your journey today was not in vain. And you have discovered a trace of the the long gone Arthrophae. Hey, and you must continue to search for those uh, those lurking further below the surface. Did you guys get that?
Hmm. So, soon
That came
enough,
through, yeah.
yeah. So soon enough, you start to see, tunneling out of the mound. And a few of the Arthrophae actually do begin to pull their way to the surface. As before long, everybody congregates except for potentially for the people that were already frozen while inside of the cavern. One of them is holding the limbless man who believed in the prophecy.
Vanessa nudges QB. Just kind of see the limbless man.
Cube is finally starting to get back up like Basilic, almost like he's like getting off of a massive dark magic hangover. But as soon as he sees the Arthophae from the before, he quickly rushes over to see him again.
So he smiles at QB. not only will I survive, but I will live to see the reign of the new warlock of Mazelthad. Everybody begins a slow chant. QB, 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 QB.
QB, QB,
QA,
QB,
QA,
QB, QB,
QA, QA.
QB.
And, well, okay, so this is QB's reaction to this.
Yeah, Cube he just watches all this, yes, and he practically sits back down, still all incredibly groggy from the dark magic surge from before, and he's still wearing his new artifact. But he gets back up, and he's happy. He's happy that he can finally help rebuild.
So, Doroku reaches over, hooks QB's arm over his neck, and he says, "We probably should be getting back. And anyways, I believe that you deserve a long rest after this little escapade."
Cube nods as he's still like incredibly weak from all that.
So, well, no, this time while I'm gone, Vanessa, Havoc, maybe you can think about helping the Arthrophae rebuild their village.
Of course, someone's gonna need to help them out.
There's more people like me. There's really more people just like me. I'm not alone anymore. Vanessa smiles widely, but she takes a look back at QB. Will you be alright?
Cube kind of stabilizes himself more as he's slowly getting his strength back. He says, Cube will be alright. Cube always alright.
Vanessa goes over to gently try to hug QB.
Cube weakly hugs back.
Be careful.
Cube, he no, just as he's pretty much passing out.
So she lets go and she walks back.
And
So-
right after this touching moment, there's suddenly a sharp scream of, "What the fuck! I was gone for 30 minutes and you destroyed an anthill the size of a mountain! What the hell?" Oh, it's Beatrice. It's again just absolutely baffled, just absolutely baffled, pulled and raging at what she just saw.
It is often said that we are dirt, and to dirt we will return. It seems that the opposite is true for your kind.
And then it's immediately back to Beatrice and Terrapin bickering again.
Some
So we go back to the inn. Brainy
And
says,
how long have they been drinking that coffee?
so at this point the cups have been empty. They've just still been sitting there. So Brainy goes, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Okay, try this one for a tongue twister. One fart smello. No. One smart fellow. I think I already spilled over on that one. Sorry about that.
Rubber baby buggy, rubber baby buggy. This is what you guys consider fun in common language?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Ah, that was a good one. I don't know
Wait,
whether I should call it diction or dictation.
why would she sell seashells by the seashore? Wouldn't there be too many seashells to be worth anything?
So,
She sells the souvenir seashells by the seashore, silly.
She sells seashells by the seashore, but the value of those shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. Is that entire parody song?
Brady looks over his shoulder and there was just some smart aleck goblin that had passed by. So, at this point, Deroku walks back in, holding QB over
He's
his shoulder again.
who practically looks like he's been through hell. He doesn't have his costume, and he's completely unconscious. Pretty much looks like he's dead.
Marin is horrified, spilling her cup over. She's scrambling over. Oh
Just
my
preparing
god!
a healing spell right away.
Yes.
But before you can do any of that, it's just you find out that he's just sleeping.
Is that supposed to be him snoring?
Yeah, he's pretty much making noises that indicate he's just kind of snoring.
So Brady takes a moment to take off his hat, reach into it, and conjure a new mask for QB.
Yeah, the squad does get one good look at his face before they do put it back on, though.
That was what he
Deroku,
was.
yeah, Deroku goes over to Brady and says, "Boy, do I have the book report of the century."
I would be most interested in perusing your report.
And also, remember what were you gonna say about like hey, Cuba's a real face?
Ah, she's like adjusting everything. That was what he was so worried about? She gives him like a little pat on the head.
Deroku says,
Cuba kind
"I was just half hoping that you would put him back in his favorite resting place."
Right. I'll carry him back to the cellar. Thank you. So she carries Cube in her arms like a small child.
he pretty much technically is.
Technically is, but yeah. She walks off, leaving Deroku, Brainy, and Otto.
And pretty much at this point, while carrying him, you notice that he's wearing this new kind of artifact on him, this bizarre kind of jewelry.
And that. You know what? I can ask him later. It's fine.
And Cuba's pretty much like kind of reactively snuggling a bit closer to you as you're carrying him.
Okay, that was epilogue number 1. Epilogue number 2. Eisenstein wakes up, and he is in what appears to be just a pocket of the underground that only just kind of seems large enough for him. Hmm. Well, well, old friend. It looks as though you got your head handed to you. You don't have to explain it to me. I know exactly what you've been up against. What do you want? I'm forming a team. And that was the second epilogue.
Ooh.
All right, so this has been episode 11, One Shots from the Meowing Portal. The very next episode is going to be the very end of season 1. The next episode, the end of the first season of One Shots from the Meowing Portal, tentatively dubbed the end of the beginning, we finally find out what the evil machinations of the Nameless One are set to become. It
Yeah,
might be an
it's-
end for our heroes, but at the same time, it most likely may be a new beginning.
Ooh,
Exciting.
I also can't wait.
Let's go.
All
Woo!
right, so thank you everybody once again for tuning in to One Shots from the Meowing Portal. I remain Brainy. Now, once again, exclusively streaming at twitch.tv/Brady the RPG Cat. And I'm with Marin Mermaid, who is at twitch.tv/Marin Mermaid. Shy Bunny Servant, who is on youtube.com slash Mimi's Wonderland. And also Shy Bunny Servant on Twitter. And Game Night 00.
Not currently streaming anything, but
Yeah, none of the above on social media.
yes, none of the above on social media. But I've always got something.
Mm-hmm. And we're very happy to always have him
too.
here. Alrighty, folks. So thank you everybody once again for tuning in. As always, I've had a great time. Thank you everybody for playing.
Thank you so much for having us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks a ton.
And we'll all see you next time on One Shots from the Meowing Portal. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.